Welcome, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in to Do It Live Autonomy Podcast. We are back. We've took a couple weeks off in between seasons in order to focus on getting ready for what's new in autonomy. We're going to be covering some of that. But we have lots to share. We've been very busy, and we're about to start season 4. We just had a meet and greet last night, a global meet and greet. People joined in from Taiwan, Australia, Europe, all over the place in order to say hello, break the ice, and kind of set some expectations of what's going to be happening this season. I want to welcome everyone who's on the call with me. People that are brave enough right now to be on camera. We got Kara Shepard-Pote, we got Lawrence Driggs, and Tyler Bloiler, and Homer just popped in and said, "What's up?" So nice to see you guys. You have anything you want to say?
I'm disappointed that you're still slaughtering my last name at this point. I mean, how many times have you read that?
Bloiler.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, welcome back, season 4, Do It Live, or whatever we're calling this season of Do It Live, and happy to be here.
Good to be here. Good to see Kara here. And I think this is cool. Cool new time slot. So, yeah, great to be here.
I agree. I'm happy with this time. It means I might be able to participate a little bit more than I was last season. So I'm also glad to be here and excited that season 4 is kicking off. This is going to be an awesome season.
I too like this new time slot. If you're watching the recording, we're now transitioning to Do It Live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 noon where I am. Yeah, my wife suggested this. This is when my baby goes down for a nap. So I got a nice little window to be able to focus on projects. And it's not 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's not late at night where my brain like slows down. So I do like this. And as I can tell, yeah, we got a nice full crowd today. Anyone on the call, you can feel free to stay fly on the wall and just listen in, or you can hop in, and we would love to hear from you. We're going to be going through several topics, recapping what we've been up to, and then we got some highlights from last night's meet and greet to bring back up, because it was pretty nostalgic. It was really great to hear from everybody and to meet all these great new faces, and just see our tribe getting bigger and bigger. So let's just dive in. First off, we have a whole new course to show. So we transitioned from Teachable over to Kajabi in between seasons. A lot of work. We were still bringing over some of the files, but we're nearly done. But Kajabi is so cool. It has this really great app, and so now you don't have to fumble through browsers to try and find replays from last season, but you get to actually just pop out your phone, click, and start watching replays. So it's super fluid. But overall, the course just looks really amazing. I appreciate everyone's help with from copywriting to helping with descriptions to the media team busting out really great looking media to make all this come together. Right now we just kind of have pre-course material up, but as the season unfolds, starting next week with week 1, then the course will unlock and be really, really great. Also, new addition this year is we have a question team who have worked up a questionnaire for each week in order to create some thought and some and for people to be able to answer along what is going on in that week's theme. So really excited to watch that engagement. Next up, we've been working with clients. So Autonomy is partnered up with Autonomy Unlimited. So Autonomy Unlimited is basically an extension from Autonomy. It allows people who go through the Autonomy course to be able to have somewhere to go once they graduate from Autonomy, and be able to sharpen their skills on real world projects. So once you graduate, you can become an apprentice in Autonomy Unlimited and get your hands on working on like autonomy marketing, to where there's lots to do: media, copywriting, social media, SEO, really like what do you want to get to know and get familiar with. And then you can work on these projects. And as you gain proficiency, then more projects become available. We have working clients that our marketing agency facilitates. And so there's really an endless amount of work for people to continue to refine, get better, and be able to work on higher and higher end projects up until you show the proficiency where you are brought up as a freelancer and you work right alongside the rest of the team with being able to provide value to businesses and projects and YouTube stars and all sorts of fun stuff that we're a part of. So I just want to showcase some of the projects that we've done in the last few months that are pretty awesome, if I must say so myself. We're going to start off with Parrhesia. This is a new course coming out soon, put on by the none other Benny Wills, who is creating a course on the art of communication. I'm just going to let him do the talking.
Hey, I'm Benny Wills. Are you terrified of public speaking? Do you ever wish you could express yourself with more confidence, without fear? Would you like to be able to communicate better with friends and family about difficult subjects? And finally, do you have a masterpiece inside you? If you answered yes, or just thought yes to any of those questions, you probably need Parrhesia. Parrhesia quite literally means free speech. It is the ability to speak freely and boldly without self-doubt. In our currently hyper-polarized, extremely emotional, and ultra-opinionated world, communication is more important than ever. I've spent the majority of my life learning how to communicate. First as a stage actor, then as an actor in Hollywood, now as a poet and MC, and as a YouTuber for the past 8 years, and as someone who's constantly looking for ways to build bridges towards people who have different opinions than me. So I've created an online course where I can share with you what I've learned. It's live, multi-week, community-based, and hands-on. Help me help you free your speech with Parrhesia, the art of communication.
That nice production was put together and edited by Tyler Bloyer. How was that project for you?
Well, Benny and Sonia, they do a great job at the production on the front end and planning out the scenery and getting the right angle and framing. So really, working with people like them makes it really easy, because they put such a huge effort forward to deliver files to us that are actually, not very hard to work with. It's not like just dumping a bunch of stuff that doesn't line up and the audio tracks don't match the video and there's no, so that adds a huge benefit. But then really quick though, on the lines of Parrhesia, Joshua, you've come a really long way, and watching you grow from where you started, I think back when you said you used to make like YouTube videos and had a hard time just kind of getting the gears turning there. And even from the first season of Do It Live to now, watching how you opened up the show today is just kind of like watching somebody who's in their stride and not having to overcome that fear of having a mic and the camera and the lights, and like classmates are watching you and you have to share things and it might go wrong. And even like Kara and Lawrence and the other people here on the call, it's hard to kind of gauge yourself from where you start to where you're at now when you're, it's a very subjective thing. But if we could all kind of like come out from the outside and watch the progress of the people that I just mentioned, Kara as well, like, coming from where she came from to now, where like this morning in the copywriting meeting, or just how you lead your team is, and I don't mean to say like that everyone's following you, but I mean to say that you make an excellent representation of someone to look up to, and someone who can step into the shoes of what you're doing, and not only like take it on kind of, and then kind of keep your old life. Like, you've dove into this thing and gone head first, and that's like really admirable. And then I've done very well with it. And same with Lawrence. So I kind of wanted to take the minute after talking about Parhesia to just recognize your guys' abilities have vastly improved, come a long way.
Thank you, Tyler. And I just want to point out too that although Lawrence, however, it says apprentice on his bottom banner there, this is somebody who has reached freelancer status. So that's not entirely accurate, my friend Lawrence. You have come so far. Your skills have like dramatically increased, and just own that. Know that you're a full-on freelancer now, friend.
Wow.
Nice way to dodge the compliment there. That was great.
I'll just pass it off.
But thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kara. You definitely inspired me to keep pushing, my time outside of work, and Tyler and Joshua, you've led the way. I think I've said before, signed up for Autonomy, and didn't imagine I'd, be introduced to a tribe of mentors, and that's what I've got now, and it's wonderful. And I just wanted to comment on the Parhesia course. It's really cool, and my participation in it has been limited due to prior commitment and sort of working behind the scenes on something else. But I did get to jump in one Sunday session that he did, and Benny's really great. It's very entertaining. The meme show is great, but in the setting as a teacher, it's really cool. He really lights up. So having the chance to present something that I wrote, a short poem, and then have him listen and then be like, okay, now do it again. Try this, and go through it and do it again. Like, he really lit up. It was a new side of Benny to see. A really great experience. So I look forward to checking out more of the course over time, and definitely recommend other people check it out too.
Definitely. Yeah, Parhesia should be getting announced here in the coming weeks. We're doing the final touches on the landing page and an opt-in process. So if you're interested, you'll be able to opt in soon. I hope to have that like ready this next week, as well as a new website for Benny Wills. So Benny Wills is a graduate of season 3, and he had a project. And we all wanted to help out with that. So it's been really great to see everybody step up and all these pieces assemble, like, I don't know, Voltron, and be able to make these projects happen so that we're able to help out those influencers that have influenced our lives. So stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, I got another clip, and and Tyler, thank you very much for those kind words. I have come a long ways. We all have. But I might dig up that first like video that I recorded like so long ago, because it's so painful to watch. But you just gotta keep taking those punches and keep showing up, and you get better at things naturally. So next up, I'm gonna be showcasing a new clip from Sonia, also season 3 graduate, Benny's wife, and soon to be baby's mama. She put together a video and audio recording of our 19 skills PDF that the whole team put together. So check this out.
19 essential skills for success not taught in school. Number 1, the definition of integrity. Integrity is doing what you said you would do by the time you said you would do it. This is a skill or trait that can make or break your working relationships, and it is one that requires self-discipline to practice. Scheduling, setting reminders, and active communication all play a vital role in keeping integrity intact. While integrity is the ideal, it is also always in flux. It is dependent on how self-reliant you are. Sometimes there are things that need renegotiating. New information comes in, which may mean a change in the deadline or a whole new plan altogether. Or life situations come up that require rescheduling. Communication is key. If you've missed a meeting once in a while, that may not be a big deal. If it is consistent, well, this may be what's holding you back from success. If you can learn to communicate and renegotiate in these times, accountability is maintained and your integrity stays intact.
Number 2, the value of integrity in all aspects of life. It is not enough to simply understand the principle of integrity. You have to embody it. Think about the most reliable person you know. This person comes through when they say they will and clearly communicates if problems arise. They present themselves as organized, calm, and collected. If they wanted to, they seem like they could move mountains. Why? Because they actively practice this essential skill. Integrity is your hidden superpower. To unleash it requires willingness and a commitment to put it into practice. When you do, your business will attract more customers because you are reliable. Your family bonds will strengthen because you show up when you say you will. And your relationships will flourish because you always strive to keep your word. The possibilities are endless when you wield the power of integrity.
Still a bit of work to be done on that, but Justin just that's hot off the presses. He was working on that up till we were ready to broadcast it last night in the meet and greet. Sonia and Benny did an excellent job, reading that off, having it sound compelling, and then Justin was putting over B-roll to make the story really come alive and accent those 19 skills. Those 19 essential skills not taught in school that was originally from Richard Grove, a list he compiled. Then last season, the Autonomy Unlimited team took that, copywriters wrote it out and fleshed out each one. And then we turned it into this really fantastic looking PDF. Tori did a fantastic job designing that. And then we threw it out in the world. And as you'll learn in marketing, this is a way to be able to provide value out into the market and find people that are resonating with your message and be able to then want to know more. So we offer that in exchange. It's called an ethical bribe, in exchange for your email, and we'll deliver that to your inbox. You just got to tell us where to go or where to send it. To get that PDF, just go to getautonomy.info/19 skills, and there'll probably be a link down below in order to go get that for yourself. But then, yeah, we're going to deliver those videos to you too, because not everybody likes to read. So that's just where we're at in 2020. Next up, I want to highlight a project that we're just now launching. Like, you guys are really getting the inside tip of this. This has been a huge project that we've taken on, and it's just now coming to fruition. Season 3 graduate Homer Smith and his business, Convergent Wealth Partners, hired us to put together something similar to the 19 steps, but we just created this report. Kara, tell me a little bit about this report and how it came to be.
Sure. I mean, this was really a collaborative effort. So, to come up with a compelling lead magnet, you need to be able to have enough substance to provide enough value. And then there's a combination of things. Like, then it's creating a really compelling headline. And we have methods for testing that, for testing the emotional impact of the words that you use. But this is a collaborative effort between Homer and myself. He's got all of the knowledge. He knows everything that he can provide value in with his business through the market research. That's another big element. So we did tons and tons of market research to determine what were the biggest pains and fears and hopes and dreams of this audience. So everything that we created here was built out of that research. And so Homer's got the knowledge, he's got the inside, industry knowledge of his business, and then I come in with my marketing knowledge. So combined, we were just able to create this really, really awesome PDF that then again, also Tori stepped in and did the design. So wonderful team effort that turned out really great, I think.
Yeah, you can be one of the first, and go to convergentwealth.com/free report, and you can download it before everybody else. Homer, are you on the call, and do you want to comment on this?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, because it's beyond just this report and the funnel we're setting up. We revamped the entire website, a lot of support around a couple of webinars and events that I've been doing. So across the board, between Josh, Kara, Tori, Richard, the whole team has just done a tremendous amount of work that we're just about to launch it all. So I'm really excited to get this out there in the public, and it's completely refreshed the image that we had. We had kind of an ancient looking website that was okay, but really what we've been putting together is I think just really fantastic, and excited. I'm just really excited to kind of see where this goes. I was talking with Kara yesterday about some of this and the team that I have and on my side, and just as we get success with this, just what it's going to open the door to just keep doing new offers out there to the market that I think is just going to just explode as we really fine tune the message and keep doing the market research on what people are looking for. I think we'll just be able to pivot and put the information out there quickly. And so, just want to make sure that reemphasize just how just awesome the team has been, and just how impressed we all are with what's been put together. And we know it's just the tip of the iceberg at this point.
Woohoo! This was a huge project. Yeah, from a new website to a full marketing strategy to now creating these high value content offers. And we're just about ready to hit the go button to go fishing, see who wants this information and who could really use these services. So success is right around the corner. Thanks, Homer. Thanks for all the kind words, and we'll see you next week at your meeting.
Thanks, everybody. Just wanted to pop in for a few minutes. I didn't know I'd be featured, but happy I was able to stop in and say hi.
Excellent. Next up, we got a new course that's being built right now, and everybody inside of Autonomy gets to be part of that beta crew. This is put together by Derek Bros from the Conscious Resistance. He put out a book a couple years ago called The Holistic Self-Assessment. It really impacted my life. It's a short book, but we thought it would be a really great course. So we reached out to Derek and asked if he would be interested with doing kind of a presentation style and going through this holistic self-assessment where each step is a different week, and you have time to be able to go through and learn about each of these components that really make up the core identity of who we are as individuals. And when you get really clear on what your values are, what your principles are, what your goals are, you become an unstoppable force, because your identity isn't just tied up to what football teams win in the election this year, but you are actually an individual with your own set of values and principles that aren't connected and reliant on anyone outside of yourself. So I'll just show just a short clip out of this, and this will be launching publicly here soon. I think we got 2 or 3 more weeks before we wrap it up inside of Autonomy, and then it'll be a nice product that we'll be able to put out there.
Becoming self-aware, and as I mentioned earlier, the question is, who am I? Take a moment to reflect on these words: who, am, and I. The word who in this sense is an interrogative word, meaning it's designed to answer a question, who. The word am is the present tense first person version of be, and implies that an object has an objective existence. I think, therefore I am. Finally, I can be used as a pronoun to describe an individual. In this sense, I is defined as the person who is speaking or writing. Taken together as a question, these words compel us to understand who and what we are interested in being and doing while on this planet. To come to an honest understanding of ourselves and what we are capable of, we ought to examine our personal view of ourselves. First, we need to briefly look at the concept of self. The dictionary definition of self is the entire person of an individual, or an individual's typical character or behavior. Another definition is the union of elements that constitute the individuality and identity of a person. Carl Rogers, who was an American psychologist and one of the founders of the humanistic school of psychology, he believed that the self was composed of three different components: the self-image, the self-esteem, or self-worth, and the ideal self. And he said that these three components are important to consider when attempting to answer this question, who am I? And so you see these questions on screen. I want you to think about these. What is your image of yourself as defined above? If we're defining a self as the entire person of an individual's typical character or behavior, the union of elements, your body, your emotions, your thoughts and sensations that make you the individual that you are.
Really juicy stuff. I really love these questions and kind of self-analyzing, but what's great about this is not just like the information that's delivered to you. We then get to have live Q&A and we get to share our experiences and answers. And that's something the book just could not contain within its pages. So extreme amount of value being able to hear other people's experiences to help translate what these words on these pieces of paper are into like real world experiences, so that you can kind of reflect back what it is to you, because these are some big questions, and it's really easy to just be intimidated by them and just like put that off. Who am I? Not in a big hurry to answer that, but breaking down into nice little components. You can just do a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there, and then out of this course really have a solid identity. Like, you know yourself, you know what's important to you, and you're able to communicate that and see how that reflects in your reality, right? Are you staying true to what you believe in? Is your behaviors reflecting that? Anybody else have any comments? Anybody get any value out of this course?
Well, I really appreciate Derek for putting it on and him taking the time to do it. He's a busy guy. He's been showing up and executing that like a champ. And I appreciate him putting that work together. And I've said this before, but since we're here on Do It Live, I'll just say it again. I remember walking around with him quite a few years ago, talking about that book and thinking about how great of an idea it was. At the time, Larkin Rose was talking a lot about the Mirror Project. I don't know if he's still working on that, but it's the same kind of concept of going through and asking those questions to yourself and just being honest. So it's very important that you're honest with yourself about the questions. And it's very easy to put them off, and it's very easy to kind of think. I've done a walk and talk recently on like, what are your principles? And some of us, I think, haven't asked that question and answered it thoroughly enough. Not pointing any fingers, I'm not saying anybody here, but I'm just saying once you can kind of start to find those handrails, which are fundamental principles that you can actually see in the real world work in a way that aligns with your values and your ethical stance, that actually makes a lot of things easier when it comes to decisions that come along down the road, or things that we're faced with every day now, like decisions that we have to make for our family and our future that are going to affect generations beyond us even being here. And with that kind of power, like we can really make the world a beautiful place and unfold into something really brilliant that we all can't even imagine what's about to happen. Or we don't have to do that, and it could be a really negative world with a lot of mental slavery and people just subjugated to kind of do what they're told and not really even have those options. So big questions, big topics, big, deep, heavy subjects. And I like how Derek's kind of kept it not personal to him. And he's done a very good job at making it a general thing that you don't have to have one particular philosophy to still get value out of the holistic self-assessment.
Definitely. Excellent. I just said it this morning. if you want to see change in your environment, change yourself, and then watch things unfold, because you can spend all day long trying to force your environment into what you want it to be, but if you're not doing any inner work, then things don't tend to change very quickly. Michael, welcome to the podcast. How you doing, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing great. And I was just going to add on, with what Derek is bringing to the table. I think that's one of those things that absolutely I think one of the things I've learned with autonomy is a guy by the name of Alfred Korzybski. And one of his famous sayings is, the map is not the territory. And if you don't have a good map for yourself, you're really in trouble. And that's kind of one of the things that I think what Derek and certainly a lot of the effort that's being made with autonomy is about, is really getting the correct map, because we've been given the wrong map. And this is how you figure it out. So it's some really good stuff.
Yeah, we've been given this like cartoon treasure map that actually leads to pitfalls, when in reality, yeah, we might need a much richer map to navigate this terrain that we're in. Thanks, Mike. Well, let's keep this train moving. We still got a lot to cover. I wanted to also highlight another client that Autonomy Limited is working with, and that is Content Safe. Content Safe, whose team actually just joined Autonomy Season 4, so this is really exciting. But I like that logo. Nice work. Content Safe had a website, and we took on this project to redesign it in order to be able to communicate what it is to the people that are observing it. Kara, you want to describe all the work that you did?
Absolutely. When they first came to us with this website, it was very plain. There wasn't a whole lot of graphics, and the copy was, it just needed a lot of work. So between I had myself and Agnieszka were the first ones to kind of go through and do a bunch of work to the copy and improve that in the marketing sense. But it's been really a team effort, as well as Daryl on their team. He's also got a little bit of copywriting experience, and so we've been working together with him. So we've done a ton. We've been working with them. We've been meeting with them weekly for a little while now, and every week it's just been like a collaborative effort of going through the website, seeing what things that we can improve. And so, the work never stops. We just keep going. And I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. There's still a couple last minute things that we want to do, but I mean, everything is working. We've got a great lead magnet that we've created for them, which also has a nice design. And we've also got some audio and video coming for that as well. So it's been a fun project, and a really fulfilling project to be able to work on something that's helping content creators who, the censorship is just unbelievable right now. So to be able to work on a project that is actively supporting and helping these creators and people that we follow and that we care about, it's just, there's nothing better. It's just such a fulfilling project to work on.
I agree. It's been awesome to help them. They had a fantastic service, but they just weren't getting noticed. So we've been able to work with them. We've partnered up with them. We now promote them as a service in Autonomy Unlimited, because we're often working with content creators who are at risk of being censored or already being censored. They've helped out with Autonomy and Tragedy and Hope. They've backed up all of our videos and our auto publishing them to alternative sites, so we're not just on YouTube and at risk to YouTube's vague policy. So it's been really satisfying, and we're now this website is looking good and ready to bring in some new clients. Mm-hmm. Kara, what's this?
This here is the Mark Passio's What on Earth is Happening newsletter. And this was a beast of a project where what started as a simple newsletter project turned into so much more. This is great. This is, they've been, it's an area that they haven't been able to fulfill because they just have so much stuff going on. I mean, they have so much work that they do. And so one of the great things with partnering with us is we've been able to take a lot of those things off their plate. So we're able to help them with things like this. They hadn't been able to send a newsletter since 2017, just because they haven't had the time, they haven't had the people to help do this. So this was the very first one that we revamped. We've done a couple so far. It was a little bit out of my normal procedure, so it took a bit of a learning curve. I ended up learning how to code at a basic level, which is new knowledge that I wouldn't have had before. And it was a great learning experience. And it was a great way of persevering because I kept running into roadblocks and technical problems and trying to fulfill this the way that it was asked of me. And it was really challenging because it was out of my area of expertise, but learned my way forward, learned what I needed to know, and we were able to bust out a really nice looking newsletter. And now we've got a system in place. So, where this one took a little bit longer to get put together, the second one that we had got busted out within a day. So it's going good. This first one was nice and long. It was, first one in 3 years. So there was a lot to put in it, but now we've kind of got, we've got some momentum going and we can keep messages really nice and arrowed and pointed, and it's going good.
And as Kara was saying, this is so fulfilling to be able to help those that have helped us. This is really how I got to working in autonomy in the first place. Richard Grove just put out so much value out into the universe that I just wanted to help out. I wanted to give back to someone who gave me immense amount of value. So I offered to help out with autonomy, and I've never had a regret since. But now we're working with more and more people that have influenced us and finding more content creators, YouTube stars that need help. They tend to all have kind of a common theme of wanting to progress freedom out into the world. And so we get to support that. And it's fantastic. It's very rewarding. We get challenged. We get to learn new things. We get to apply all of this methods that we know. And we get to, watch the freedom needle move forward a little bit each year.
And I'd like to point out that although I did put a lot of time and effort into that, it was not just me. There was a lot of effort made from the full copywriting team. We have a newsletter team that's growing, that we're starting to offer and be able to provide a newsletter service to several content creators for helping Derek Bros, and we're helping several. So this was actually, especially for the content part of it, this was a team effort. We had a good handful, about at least 5 or 6 of us, that each had a piece to write. It made it so that not anybody got too overwhelmed with the writing process, and we were able to bring it all together and create something awesome. So this isn't, it's not the only one, and it's definitely not just me. I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out.
Yeah, there's a huge team to make these things happen, and you can be a part of it. Join Autonomy. Next up, we got a brand new project that's really not even been announced yet. It has been name dropped here and there. This is called Grand Theft World. This project has been on Richard Grove's desk for several years now, but we finally took it off his desk and turned it into something that everyone could gain some value from. This is a new website, grandtheftworld.com, and it's still in the the baby phase, but it's up and it's functioning. This is going to be a place where you can come for a conglomerate of content that helps us describe and give us an accurate view of the terrain of this environment that we're all living in. There is Grand Theft World taking place, and everybody is contributing and offering articles and videos that help expose what's going on with the world, and this is going to continue to get better and better. So as YouTube kind of starts censoring us, we're going to have a place that we can go to that will be able to give us a dashboard of recent articles to be able to check out and to stay up to date on. So stay tuned as this continues to grow and develop. This is going to get a lot more categories and a lot more specification on it. And really appreciate everybody who is contributing, all the editors, the designers, the graphic designer who made this image. Really powerful stuff. Next up, we just had a copywriter clinic. I got a little clip to play and then we can talk a little bit about that.
I didn't share my audio, so let me do that really quick. There we go. Okay.
I haven't met you yet. I am Anna. I am one of the social media council, one of the three of us. Thank you so much for coming to this crossover edition of the Copywriters Clinic. I wanted to lay a foundation for the ins and outs of social media for you, so you have an idea of what we're talking about and why we value copywriters so much. So first of all, let's just talk about some of the platforms of social media. You have a wide variety, and I'm sure you're familiar with some of them. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn. These are all different forms of social media. They can have different types of content on them, and actually sometimes they even serve different audiences better. For instance, Instagram is fully visual, where Facebook has a lot more written content, and LinkedIn is a professional network. So they have different types of things on there and different audiences as well. That kind of brings us right into content. So put simply, content is anything that is created to be shared on a social media platform. This can be videos, spreadsheets, PDFs, and graphics, just to name a few. Pretty much anything that you would see shared on social media is in its root form content, or just people's opinions, you know. So as content creators, which we are here on the social media team, we create things for our clients that then they can put on their social media to help grow their audiences, have others get to know their business better, and also to advertise their products. So depending on the business, this might be something different. Graphics is kind of a no-brainer. Sometimes videos, sometimes there'll be PDFs or high-value content offers, which is where copywriters will come in.
That was very cool to see kind of the two departments converge and do a copywriting clinic all about social media. Kara, what did you think about that?
Oh, it was wonderful. I've been trying to get this to happen for about a month now. So it was a long time coming. And now that it happened, there's going to be a lot more crossovers in the future. For anybody listening that's not entirely familiar yet, so the copywriting clinic is every Saturday morning. That's at noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific. The copywriting clinic is a chance to not only learn different styles of copywriting, but also practice. So, you know, we alternate between, we do lessons, but we also have feedback sessions. So for example, next week is going to be a feedback session. So students can bring whatever you're working on, anything related to copywriting that you're working on. If you're building a website, if you're building some advertisements, if you have some emails that you need to send out that you just need a second eye, you bring those to the clinic and we work on them together. So it's just a wonderful collaborative experience of learning and connecting. And it's been a joy so far. We were talking about, you know, maybe cutting it down and not doing them every week during season 4, but we just love them so much. So we're going to keep rolling with it. So I definitely encourage anybody that's interested in copywriting or just kind of wants to see what's going on, come hang out with us on Saturday morning.
Awesome. It was. I was glad I got to tune in, and you guys did a fantastic job. And you're at 16 now?
Yep.
So those are all being Storehouse and the Autonomy Unlimited Higher Education. You gain access to that when you graduate Autonomy. And so that all that knowledge is just there waiting for you.
And I do have the full playlist is also available on YouTube. So if you need access to that, you can reach out to me. I mean, it's my personal YouTube account, so you can search for Kara Shepard Pote and probably find it. But basically the very first clinic we consider to be required it's not required to show up, but we do prefer that you watch the first one to participate. It gives a really strong foundation to all of the areas of copywriting, and talks about how to not break trust with your copywriting. So really, really foundational knowledge. So I encourage everyone to at least go watch that first one.
Awesome.
And actually, I would say watch it every 6 months or every 3 months, because a lot of people still come up to us with questions that are answered in the first clinic months after. So if you haven't watched it recently, rewatch it. It's only an hour and it's really good. It covers all of the material a random university or a regular university course would cover in marketing, like 6 months in 1 hour. Just saying.
Excellent. Agnieszka, while you're here, what else do you got going on each week?
Oh my gosh. So this Sunday for Spiritual Revolution, we have an extra special secret guest. I'm not telling anybody who it is yet, but this person is somebody that will surprise you because no one expects this of him. This is such a work-oriented person that, you would not expect Spiritual Revolution from them, but yet Spiritual Revolution would come forth out of their mouth tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I counted.
And then Autonomy Toasters, when's that?
Autonomy Toasters is tomorrow at 7 a.m. or 2 hours before the lecture, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. It's the same time. 10 a.m. Eastern. And we are actually a little bit short with people tomorrow, so we would love it if somebody would come as a guest and be an accounter or something like that. That would be wonderful. Then you can watch for all mistakes. You don't actually have to perform. So, it's all good.
Excellent. I look forward to that. That's like blueberry pancake time for me. So I can't often participate, but I do enjoy popping in when I can.
If you make the pancakes ahead of time, you could just eat them.
Agnieszka will strip away all your excuses, man. You can't.
It comes early. I know. But what if you made the pancakes the day before?
That's true. Well, then you got day-old pancakes. That's what you got.
That's true.
We'll think about that. Well, I look forward to hearing who your guest is tomorrow. So
yeah, me too.
Last night we had our season 4 meet and greet. This was fantastic. We had over 60 people show up from around the world to just say hello and be able to hear from each other and all the accomplishments that graduates have done. It was really, really touching and fun to meet all these new people. Never before has all these newcomers just hopped on camera and come on mic and just say hello. Like right off the bat, we had a new season 4 just jump in there, jump into the fire and walk his way through it to say hello and tell us all about him. And we got a couple clips from last night just to showcase it. And here we go.
We have some rules. The authoritarianism for sure, and there's an absence of authority insofar as telling you what to do at each step of the way. It's like, here's what's unfolded as far as the course, and if you want to, come here and watch the lecture, that's great. But no one's telling you to do homework tonight or when it's due. And if you want to do stuff, it's all volitional. It's all because you want to participate. And that's the fun part. So if we were doing what school does and telling you what to do all the time and by when, grading you in front of everyone else and berating you in front of, then it wouldn't be fun. Then this would not be autonomy. It would be like school. So this is the opposite. And it does, Tim's right. It does take a little bit of time to wade into that freedom, that self-responsibility, that you are your own best bet. You're going to take a leap of faith, but it's not in me, it's in yourself. And we're all in that process. And that's what we do in order to make progress and to learn things that we don't know today, because we have to solve problems today. And that type of internal growth and the consistency of that expressed into the world is a healthy, rewarding process that's substantial and satisfying. Dare I say, it makes you happy.
What were some highlights from last night from those of you who were able to attend? It was a long one. We went 6 hours long, started at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Richard Grove didn't get done until after 3 a.m., but I believe everybody who wanted to was able to say hello. Anybody have any fond memories?
Well, I'll just say I am very impressed with the group of people that we've got on board. I am so excited about some of the people that talked and the way that Richard gave them the opportunity to talk about what they're doing, what they're involved in, and that kind of stuff. I just, there's so many of those stories that I'm really excited to be learning more about. So I'm very excited about the group of people we've got. It's once again amazing.
It was also interesting to see like the gravity around autonomy, because there's people that have known about it and have been around it. And I think they kind of thought, yeah, that's cool. You know, probably not something I'll do. And then now that here they are like in the course, like, hey, I actually want to go through this thing. I actually want to see the whole thing for myself. Like Matthew Raymer, bringing in people from his team, like Bob, who I was excited to hear from last night. And I think a lot of people got some value from what he was sharing and excitement about his projects, which was the goal of having him share. And like you said, Joshua, like giving people that platform to put it out there. Like that's kind of what you got to do. You got to let people know what you are up to or what your interests are, or let them know that you don't have those and that you're looking for those things, because communication is key when it comes to expressing your needs. Now, I would have liked to have seen some of the other people around the world there last night. And I think that throughout the season, it's going to be good to see the unique diversity of folks that we have in season 4 this time around. It's really quite unique, the group of people that have come around and are going through the, what do you want to call it? The maze, the funnel, going through the journey. There you go. That's the right word.
What I found amazing is that even though we've been off season for a few weeks, it's been the summer, people have been traveling, going places. Yesterday, over 60 people showed up, and more than half of them were not the current season, but they were the previous season's people. So people from season 1, season 2, season 3, they're still eager. And as everybody starts a new project, they come back to Autonomy to refresh their learning from each lecture and to realign it with the new project, because it's always a new perspective. I just love that.
It's just amazing to see like how many people were on camera right away. That was a huge difference. Like we were talking, beforehand, we were saying, oh man, for the newsletter, it'd be great if we could figure out a way to get a screenshot of a whole bunch of people on camera. And we thought that we were going to have to coordinate that we were going to have to do like a shout out and, request people come on camera. And it wasn't necessary, because right off the bat, we had so many people and so many fresh faces on camera as well right away. And it was just really inspiring. I'm really excited for the new crew. I was not able to stay awake for the whole thing last night. I go to bed early. So I unfortunately didn't get to hear a whole lot of new folks speaking. I look forward to hearing the replay, but definitely like the first part felt like a really fun like reunion and, welcoming new people into the fold. And it was very nostalgic and just very heartwarming.
Let's check out another clip.
I've known Rich for quite a while. I've worked with him on a few projects in the past and can definitely attest to his integrity and good character. And yeah, I would just say it's once you feel comfortable in this environment, it's hard to want to divorce yourself completely, because there's just such a wealth of talent and intellect and consideration. And you can go on Facebook and Twitter and see people tearing each other apart over the smallest differences, or you can come to an environment like Autonomy and see people of wildly different belief systems speak civilly and find common ground and common understanding. And it's the different, if you watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix, it's like talks about that polarization and how it ramps everyone's anxiety up and definitely gets people shortcutting past their critical thinking. So if you can find an environment where civil discussion is nurtured and encouraged, and exploration is encouraged, and curiosity and creativity are encouraged, then that has immense value beyond anything a lot of places are offering. So for new students or new people coming to this, I would just say, you know, hold on to your hats and take it a day at a time, because you can constantly come back to what's there and evolve yourself as a person and see. It's like watching a movie or reading a book. The art stays the same, but you change as a person, and what you draw, what you can take from something evolves as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say that before my evening gets on, but it's been really great listening to everyone, and I hope to get to interact a lot more on the Discord with everyone and get to know a bunch of people and yeah, share some of my skills and learn a whole lot more.
That was just a quick screenshot that I snagged last night, and yeah, that's a small percentage of everybody that was tuned in. And I know some people said this, like they were just going to tune in for a little bit, but then they just kept engaged. It was just so incredible to hear everyone's stories, where they're coming from, where they're trying to go, and then this community that, yeah, just is a peaceful, encouraging environment for us all to be able to grow, fail, and get stronger in what it is that we want to do, get exposed to all sorts of different ideas, not get shamed because you're exploring ideas or expressing ideas. It's just a really powerful environment to have all these allies, especially in this time that we're going through right now.
I even saw a toaster that was in the meeting at one point.
I know.
Yeah, that was a great clip, man. That was gold. That was serious gold there, man. Well done.
Yeah.
There's
Well, I got
plenty
one
more of those, yeah, from last night. I just went through and briefly grabbed some stuff out of there for Do It Live, but I'm excited to go in and pull more because there were so many good statements made last night. Yeah, it was captivating, like you said, Joshua, and somehow that happens around here. There's just like brilliance occurs, you know, and just captivating.
Got one more clip to do, and then we're going to wrap this show up.
Hey, Lori, so yeah, you got in, you started participating, then you started making a reputation for yourself, and then you've got someone like me doing enrollment calls, and I'm thinking of, you because I'm hearing things that match up with your skill set. This happened a couple weeks ago with a fellow named Danny Lilly, who's on the call tonight. Oh, yeah? And you came to mind, and I was like, hey, can you talk to Danny and see? And I know Eric Furland also deserves some credit because he jumped in and started helping. But before Danny even got enrolled in the course, he had people helping him and trying to figure out the situation. And I thought that was really sweet of you to take time. And I wanted to make sure that, I'm not wasting either party's time. I'm trying to do a service and help match people up. How did it work out?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm the type of person, I like to take things a little slow. I always call my first meeting with somebody the discovery meeting because you don't really know what you're going to discover about one another. And I'm all about not wasting people's time, but trying to find a fit. So even if I didn't have something to offer, maybe I knew somebody, that I connected with in the past or recent that I could help. So no matter what, I like to go into a meeting, trying to, with the idea of how can I help them, or how can we help each other type of thing. So, yeah.
That's a good attitude for someone who helps out in sales and marketing, these sort of things. Danny, are you able to unmute? I wanted to introduce you to your classmates. Now, Danny's got some interesting projects underway.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
All right. No, happy to be on this call. I've been very impressed with the testimonials from everybody on the call, and I'm very excited to be here. I know we had a couple of challenges with happy to be here.
So tell people about your aquaponics project and what you've got going on and what you hope to accomplish in the next several months.
To get that juicy information, you're going to have to check out the replay. But he does have a pretty awesome project that could benefit just about everybody. But it was great. Yeah, got to hear and learn from all sorts of new people. There's just a high caliber of individuals coming in, and they got their own projects, they got their own goals, they got their own skills, and we're all just adding to the wealth and resources that we have here in Autonomy. All this applied knowledge, all this gathered information is going to be coming out in different ways, like new courses. Once you join Autonomy, you get to have a lifetime access. So all courses and information that's organized and turned into products, you have access to. You get first dibs to go through beta course material and learn and grow alongside your fellow students and help those individuals take their projects into fruition. So it's just really satisfying, and there's never a shortage of information or something new to learn. With that, I have one more cool thing to show off. So this was a project put on by several people, but Tori had the last hands on it, and I just found this so helpful. This is stemming out of the questionnaire group. Agnieszka, you want to maybe preference like how this came to be?
Hi. So how this came to be? Well, first of all, we had all these rooms in Autonomy at the university. So we have a virtual school, but we have all of these rooms. And sometimes it was confusing for new people to go where to go. You know, if you have like a hallway with 1,000 exits, you're not really sure where to go to. So through thinking about the questions that we need to ask at the end of each lecture and thinking through the steps that they need to take, together with the social media team, we sort of collaborated in imaging this. They're gonna run with it, but we had the original idea sort of in the question team, and then they of course made it so much better.
It's still being refined. There's probably going to be another version, but essentially the journey starts here. And we now kind of have some maps as you go through the campus, the University of Reason campus. You kind of have an idea of like where you're now heading. In season 1, this was all like desert in the way out west, and there was pitfalls and like gunfights and a saloon over here. It was pretty crazy. So it's been really nice to see the evolution of Autonomy organize and get me more refined as these watering holes start to form of knowledge, so that you have a nice ability to know where you're going, because it's kind of unsettling getting thrown into a whole new community, a whole new environment, and being able to know where you're going. And with this nice new map, you get an idea. And the only thing I would recommend is after you go through this journey, you take it out into the market of the general public. You can bring your project, your content, your business out into the world, and then you come back in and start next season. And then you take what you've learned and what you've gained, and then you refine it even more. And you learn all these new aspects that you weren't even ready for in the previous season. So we're about to start season 4 next week, September 25th in Autonomy. There's still time to sign up. Go to getautonomy.info/19skills, download that PDF, and then follow the cookie crumbs if you're really interested in joining. So that's going to wrap up this week. Thanks everybody for joining this awesome kickoff. This might be a record of of attendees. I like this new time frame. I hope you can all join us as we gonna have this podcast go throughout the season, and each week we're gonna just recap what it is that all that transpired. It's impossible to try and catch everything. We're typically having like 2 or 3, 4 events happening each day, so there's no way all of us can catch all of it. So this is a great way to just kind of recap, highlight, and showcase what's going on each week. So if you're in autonomy, you can just hop in and join us for the Do It Live Autonomy podcast and hear the things that you missed, know where to go back for the replays, and also get some cool behind the scene looks at where Autonomy Unlimited is and who we're working on, what projects we're working on and who we're working with, and just planting those seeds of possibilities in yourself and being able to gain these skills and become proficient at them and be able to help those around you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to do this again next week. Make sure to hit like or subscribe or wherever you're seeing this now, thanks to Content Safe. Ting. On all these alternative platforms. Make sure to follow us and sign up for our newsletter so that you never miss any upcoming news about this. See y'all next week. Thanks again.
Thanks, Joshua.